Hi, I'm Holly Koval from Fitting Fitness In. I'm a personal trainer and nutrition specialist, and welcome to Get Healthy with Holly. And Happy New Year's! We just brought in the new year, and I'm sure that some of you have made some New Year's resolutions. I know I have. I've made some for my clients, and I've made one for me. My clients, unfortunately, get my New Year's resolution for them, whether they like it or not. And that resolution is to build muscle this year. It's really important to have muscle on your body for many reasons, and I'll talk about that later. But I'm encouraging all my clients to lift a heavier weight or do an extra set or even just an extra rep to build more muscle. My New Year's resolution for me is to get more sleep. I don't know, maybe you have had that one too, but getting more sleep is number one on my list. For most people though, as a matter of fact, over 50% of people, their New Year's resolution is to lose weight. So I'm going to give you some of my helpful hints on how to set some goals to lose weight and some techniques and ways of achieving those goals. So let's start with setting our goals. And I love to use the S.M.A.R.T method for setting goals. That's S.M.A.R.T. S stands for specific. You need to have a specific goal and be very specific to have a better chance of achieving that. M stands for measurable. You need to be able to measure that goal. So if weight loss is your goal, maybe we make a specific goal of losing 10 pounds. That's very specific. How are you going to measure that? Well, you're going to get on the scale at the beginning of when you start, and then you're going to get on the scale at the end, and maybe once a week throughout. Do not get on the scale every day. It's going to vary too much. Or you're going to measure yourself with a measuring tape. And I highly recommend that you do that because you're not just going to lose pounds, but hopefully, if you build muscle, you're going to lose inches. So where you want to measure, and you want to write this down, you want to measure your chest, you want to measure your bicep area, upper arm. Always go down one side, whether it's the right side or the left side, but make sure you stay on that same side. So your chest, your arm, your waist, your hips, your thigh, and your calf. Write those measurements down when you begin so that at the end you can see how well you did. A stands for action-oriented. How are you going to accomplish this goal? What steps are you going to take to accomplish this goal? Steps to take, I like that one. Because my first recommendation is to get moving and to start tracking your steps. So we'll get into that. Realistic, make sure your goal is realistic. It needs to be challenging to reach, but it needs to be realistic that you can accomplish it. So 10 pounds in 1 month, that's not realistic. 10 pounds in 2 months, that's also not realistic. 10 pounds in 3 months, very realistic, a little challenging, but very realistic. Because if you lose 1 to 2 pounds of weight a week, you can accomplish that. But you don't always lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. Some weeks it just doesn't happen. So you don't want to be too stressed out about it. You want to have a realistic goal. So let's say your goal is 10 pounds in 3 months. So you have a time stamp, that's the T. So you start, and in 3 months from the day that you start, that's your end date. That's your goal end date. Put it on the calendar. That's the one you're working for. So SMART goals. S, specific. M, measurable. A, action-oriented. R, realistic. And T, timestamps. So let's get back to the steps. If weight loss is your goal, then you need to start moving. And you want to track how you're moving and how many steps you're taking. So we have a slide that we're going to put up, and it's going to talk about how many steps you should be getting. Whether you're using a pedometer, whether you're using some sort of tracking device like a Fitbit and an iWatch, an Apple Watch, whatever, this is what you want to shoot for. If you have a sedentary job where you're working at a desk, my recommendation is that you start with a goal of 4,000 steps per workday. That can be hard to achieve. And 6,000 steps on non-work days. So you start there, and you do that goal for 2 weeks, because we're gradually going to get you up to the 10,000 steps that the American Heart Association recommends. So again, if you have a sit-down job, 4,000 steps can be daunting. Get up every hour, walk around the building. Walk to the other side of the building to go to the restroom. At lunch, go out and walk. Hopefully there might be a walking trail close by. There are a lot of walking trails around office parks. Go for it. Take a friend. The second week, you want to increase it to 6,000 steps on work days and 8,000 steps on non-work days. That gives you slightly more active lifestyle. Do that for 2 weeks. Now, one nice thing about these goals is you have a daily goal, and when you achieve it, you feel great. So it's positive reinforcement every day. The other thing is, if you haven't reached your goal and you're about to go to bed, I have been known to be marching in place in my bedroom or jogging in place in my bedroom to get my steps. So you can do the same too. Take these goals seriously. The third week, you're going to up it to more of an active lifestyle and do 8,000 steps during your work week and 10,000 steps on non-work days. That gets you up to the American Heart Association recommendation. And then 2 more weeks later, you can go to the healthy active lifestyle where you get 10,000 steps on work days and 12,000 steps on non-work days. It took you 6 weeks to get there, but you gradually worked your way up and you're getting more steps. I don't really care if those steps are walking to the refrigerator or back. I'm hoping that you take something healthy out of the refrigerator, but a step is a step. And put that pedometer or that Fitbit or that Apple Watch on as soon as you wake up. Some people may sleep with it. I don't, but I put it on as soon as I wake up, so every step counts. All right, so that's one of the things that you want to do. So here's some more of my Holly's helpful hints on weight loss when you have a resolution. The first thing is log your food. When you log it, you lose it. Whether you log it online, on paper, in a notebook, wherever, log your food. Start with when you wake up, what you eat, put a little time on there so you can see when you're eating. You'll also start seeing patterns. Maybe you're eating more at night after you eat dinner. It's good to log your food. You can see what you're eating, and you can see the patterns of how you're eating. The second thing I recommend is to add resistance training to your workouts. You want to build muscle. The more muscle on your body, the higher your metabolism. You want to build muscle to decrease inches. So when you build muscle and burn fat, you're going to decrease inches. You may not decrease pounds. That's why I said to measure yourself, because that's where it's going to come in the most important. As you get older, you want more muscle to help, and building muscle is going to help build bone density as well. So if you're lifting heavier weights, you have a better bone density. Now, you say, I don't belong to a gym, I can't afford a gym, I don't have any equipment at home. Well, let's start with push-ups, okay? You can do push-ups anywhere. You can even start with push-ups against the wall. So I'm going to use the refrigerator right here. A nice push-up. What I don't want to see is your butt sticking out. That is not how you do the push-up. If you take your butt on vacation with you, you're going to take your butt with you on a push-up. So against the wall, just bring your body forward and back. Now, once you've done those, and if they're easy, then you can come to the counter and do push-ups on the counter. Because as you keep going down, further closer to the ground, the level of the push-up becomes harder, or the intensity becomes harder. You could be doing 20 push-ups a day, and that's a goal, 20 push-ups a day. You could do them while you're waiting for your coffee to perk, you're waiting for the microwave or you're waiting for the oven, anything, do your push-ups in the kitchen. As you get better with the push-ups and the wall is easy and then the counter is easy, you can work your way down to a chair. And then you can go to the stairs and work your way downstairs all the way till you're flat on the ground. Once you're flat on the ground, you can do push-ups from your knees. Those are not girl push-ups. Those are called modified push-ups. And a lot of people need to do them, even men, for various reasons, for various physical issues. So don't think it's a girly or sissy push-up. It's just a modified push-up. So there's something you can do using your body weight. You can do lunges, you can do squats. You don't need to have equipment, but that will build muscle. The other thing I recommend for you to be successful with this is to make an appointment in your calendar to work out. Set an appointment with yourself to work out. I have appointments in my calendar when it's time for my heavy workout, which is lifting heavier weights. I have it right in my calendar. And I adhere to it because I set the appointment with myself. So those are the things you want to do if weight loss is your resolution. Get moving, get some kind of step tracker, build up from 4,000 up to 10,000 on work days. Log your food because when you log it, you lose it. Add resistance training to your workouts. That means lift weights, build muscle. Make it push-ups wherever you do them, on the wall, on the fridge, on the counter, on the chair, on the stairs, on the floor, wherever, 20 push-ups a day. Set an appointment with yourself to get that workout done. Make these little manageable changes each week. You know, maybe you start walking and tracking your steps one week. Then the next week you start logging your food. Then the next week you add resistance training to your workouts. Everything is manageable when you take little steps. You have that 3-month goal of 10 pounds, but you have little steps along the way that you're going to achieve. And you have a daily goal of number of steps. So those are my tips on how to be successful with your weight loss resolution. Set your goal, do these tips, and you'll be successful. Now I'm going to show you a few recipes, healthy recipes, that you can use for healthy eating. I forgot to mention earlier that I have paper food logs and exercise logs that you can use. So this is a food log, and you can put in what you eat, breakfast, snack, lunch, snack. You can also check off how many waters you've drank, how many fruits and vegetables you had, whether you've had a multivitamin or dairy. So this will be up on my website along with a fitness diary, so that you can track when you exercise, so you can see. You can also put your number of steps per day in there. And I'm also going to have up on there a weekly menu planner, so you can plan your dinners, because really that's where everybody goes bad. You come home from work, you're stressed, you're hungry, you just reach for the first easy thing. But if you plan your menu for the whole week and you adhere to that menu, you're going to be much better off with your weight loss goals. Okay, so now we're going to make a nice spiralized beets with honey and thyme. Now, I'm not going to go through spiralizing the beets because we did that on another episode when we spiralized butternut squash, and beets are a lot harder. But I found this in the supermarket, and so I just bought it already spiralized. If you look in the supermarket in the produce department, they have all sorts of things. They already have ground cauliflower so that you can make mashed cauliflower. You know, they already do that work for you, so be daring and try something new. And that's what I decided to do with the beets, because when I grew up, the only beets I knew were pickled beets. My husband, the same thing. So when I brought this home, he was like, oh, I don't like beets. I said, well, have you ever had fresh beets? And he said, no, they've always been pickled. So we're going to try this, spiralized beets with honey and thyme. And I have done this at home, and my husband did like it. So very easy. You mix, this is 4 cups of spiralized beets. This is a tablespoon of honey. And this is a teaspoon of chopped fresh thyme. Okay? And all we do is mix them together. So I'm going to put the thyme in first, and then the honey, which I love this little spatula. I don't have one at home, but I'm going to get one because it's very handy when I'm here at the studio to make sure you get everything. And you know, honey is very thick. Okay, so we have that in there. I use my spoon to get it off the spatula. Move that over and mix. So you want to mix it well so that all of it gets a little bit of the honey. And so you want to, if the honey is really thick, I found that I stick the little honey jar in water, hot water first to thin it out so that it's thinner. And as it's thinner, we got a big piece here. We're not going to take that. The thinner it is, the easier it is to spread around. So let me just make sure this spreads around nicely. And the thyme, so that you have a little green in there with the red. I'll tell you, the beets are a great food to have on Valentine's Day for your Valentine's Day dinner. For Valentine's Day, I always make heart-shaped meatloaf, maybe one big one or little individuals, and I make red mashed potatoes or mashed cauliflower, and then you can do some beets. Just make it a little fun. I made it fun for the kids. Now the kids are all out, but I still like to do it because it's fun for us. Okay, now before you put it on the pan, you're just going to put a little bit of olive oil on the pan so that it doesn't stick. So a little bit on there, and then I'm just going to use this to mix it around because I don't have a little brush with me, but that's okay because you may not either. And this is all you need. It's just a little bit. All right, so let's put this on the pan. Now beets, there's a lot of health benefits to beets. They're chock full of all the essential nutrients like B vitamins, they have iron, they have copper, they have magnesium, and they have potassium. So not only are they colorful, but they're good for you. They're also very rich in nitrates, and those nitrates in your body convert to nitric oxide. And the nitric oxide helps compounds relaxation of your blood vessels. And they dilate so that your blood flow can flow better, so you get better circulation. It says it also reduces your heart disease risk. And it's been known to improve stamina. So athletes use it a lot, use beets a lot in their juice when they're juicing. It also reduces the fat in your liver so that your liver can work more efficiently. So, you know, it has a lot of good benefits. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it in the oven at 400 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. I find that 10 minutes usually is what you need. So let me put it in the oven. Today we're going to also add a winter fruit salad with maple lime dressing. We did our beets and they're cooking, and now we want to make this beautiful salad. It is very colorful, and I love color. Those of you who know me know I love color. You can tell by my apron this month. Every month I have a different apron, and I was so psyched to wear this one. So we're going to start with, we have 2 red apples, cored and diced, and I used Honeycrisp, by the way. 2 pears, cored and diced. 4 clementines, although I couldn't get clementines, so I used mandarin oranges, which is fine. Separated. 3 kiwi fruits, peeled, sliced, and quartered. A half a cup of dried cranberries, and a cup of pomegranate seeds. So that's what goes into our winter fruit salad. This is a great salad for you to have as a side dish, or it's a really wonderful salad to bring to a party, or if you're having dinner at somebody's house, a potluck, this is a great salad to bring. So you have to try to get the fruit quickly in here before it starts to turn. And here's our mandarin oranges. Oh, look at that color. Here's our kiwi. Now, I did this recipe because my daughter had bought this big thing of kiwi. There was like 6 of them, and I said, okay, we got to use this kiwi. And I was thinking, we had an exchange student for a year live at our house from New Zealand. Her name is Ruth. So hi, Ruth, if you're watching. And they call themselves Kiwis. So just a little trivia for you. And here's our cranberries, dried cranberries. And our pomegranates. Now, pomegranates are so full of antioxidants. They're so good for us. I think I used them once in another, in a salsa, I think I used them. Okay, so this is the salad. I'm going to mix it a little bit. Mix everything up. Woohoo, very colorful. Maybe needed a bigger bowl. Okay, now, this is the dressing, and the dressing is 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. So again, with the maple syrup, I heated it a little bit. I stuck it in the container in a cup of hot water to thin it out a little bit so it'd be easier to work with, and just like I did with the honey. And 1 tablespoon of freshly juiced lime, which I did just a few minutes ago. Mix this up. So it doesn't separate too much. All right, and then pour it on. Make sure we get all of it with this handy dandy. There we go. All right, and then let's mix it. Oh, this looks so wonderful, so colorful. Everybody's going to be impressed with this. And it's healthy. I love these colors in here. Oh my goodness. Vitamin C with the mandarin oranges, pectin with the apples. Oh, wonderful. All right, and there's our winter fruit salad with maple lime dressing. And let me grab the beets that I had pulled out of the oven. And these are the beets. So the beets came out wonderful. They're still nice and dark red, and they have just a little coating, so they look wonderful. So this is a great side. This is a great side. Both of these would be great to bring to a potluck dinner. People would be very surprised and pleased. So those are our 2 recipes today, and they're very healthy side dishes, and the beets are great. Again, for Valentine's Day. Next month is coming up, so that might be an option for your Valentine's Day dinner. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I want to wish you good luck on your resolutions, especially your weight loss goals. Remember, I have the weekly menu, the fitness diary, and the food log up on my website, fittingfitnessin.com. I'll also have these recipes up on my website, fittingfitnessin.com, so you can get them and you can make them. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time on Get Healthy with Holly.